Okay, this is our video number 3 on the Green New Deal. In the Green New Deal, they have said that we need to make all the houses energy efficient, environmentally friendly, and so they're requiring everyone to retrofit their homes with solar panels, to use alternative energy, to do these different things to make it to every house environmental friendly.
Well, we read, I think it was in the news, or there was an article that said that AOC, and people are going, who's AOC? It's that Cortez chick. They're giving West Virginia and some other city or state money so people can have their houses retrofitted for solar panels. She wants everybody to have solar panels. Well, the thing is, solar panels are not cheap. Well, there are a couple of solar panels that are cheap, but the thing is, it's not enough energy. So you got to think of it this way. She wants you, a homeowner, say you own your home, to pay out the wazoo to have these solar panels put on your house. Well, the thing is, if the solar panels actually worked and running in an entire house, you got to remember, you got refrigerators, you got oven stoves, you've got a hot water heater, you've got just to have lights in your house, you got to have electricity for the lights in your house. You've got let's see, what else? Refrigerator, washer, dryer, oven. Basically, those are things that you need, and that takes a lot of power to run those things. Even if they're so-called energy efficient refrigerators, it still takes power. So you're going to be paying out the wazoo. You're going to think you own your home, but you can't afford to pay for these solar panels, and they got to be pretty big, and you might need several of them on top of your house to get all the power you need to keep your house running. Well, if you don't have the money for it, why then they're going to have them put on your house, but then you're going to have to pay for them. So then if you have a mortgage, you get a mortgage payment, and then you're going to have to pay for these solar panels. And if you can't pay for these solar panels, well, then the government's going to take over your house. They're going to take your house because you can't pay for it. Somebody's got to pay for these solar panels. Companies are not making these solar panels for free. And then if you think about it, they get me on these New Deal stuff. It's so irritating. Go ahead, I'll think of the rest of it.
When you look at the housing market, it's cyclical. You have housing booms and housing busts. You have all of a sudden people can't afford their mortgages, and then they lose their homes. And then there'll be a time of great economic prosperity, and then house prices go way up. It's just like the stock market. It go up and down, and the reason it's done that way is the Federal Reserve manipulates it by creating interest rates, moving the interest rates up, moving them down, and when they move them down, people can afford houses. When they move them up, they can't afford them anymore, and they can't afford their mortgage payment. People just barely have enough to live on as it is, for the most part, the middle class. And the middle class is what keeps the economy going. And when you increase the cost that they have for their house, all of a sudden they can't afford it and they lose it. And the reason they do that is so that they can bankrupt people and get more and more of the assets to be owned by the government. And so this idea of retrofitting the houses is just another way of manipulating the economy to get people. Now you've got an increased cost of providing things in their house that you're required to have in order to keep your house, and you can't afford it. So now you can't afford the mortgage on your house and you lose your house. So it's just like the interest rates. When they raise the interest rates, they make current housing unaffordable and people default on loans, and now the government can take over these properties. And it's the same thing that would happen with the retrofitting houses, is that now you've got an increased cost that you can't afford, you can't make your payments, and then the government can take over your house. And so all that would do when you require retrofitting of houses to make them green or energy efficient with solar panels or whatever else they want to do, all that would do is just create a big housing crash and make everybody poor so that the government can take over again. And that feeds right into the idea of socialism, because socialism is about the government controlling everything. So if I had a house, but now I can't fulfill the American dream of having my own house anymore because I've got to retrofit it and I can't afford to retrofit it, then the government can take it over, and then the government can own all the houses and control people to a greater extent. That's what it's really all about.
That's it.
All right, thanks for watching.